Are you making these common AIP beginner mistakes? When you start the AIP diet, it's natural to be a bit overwhelmed. After all, it's probably a brand new way of eating for you, and most likely a new way of having to prepare and cook all of your food from scratch. Unless you've already been doing this for another style of eating, you are probably used to being able to rely on grabbing some fast meals out or some convenience meals from the grocery store. So we've got a new way of eating, a new way of cooking, and new ingredients. Plus, you're probably not doing this for fun's sake. You're suffering from a myriad of symptoms and probably don't have lots of energy or brain power or even time to get it all done. So it's a change. However, as an AIP coach, I've noticed that year after year, people tend to make the same common mistakes. These mistakes are making things a lot harder for them, and I want to share what they are in hopes that you can avoid these and make life a lot easier on yourself. Mistake number 1 is cooking every meal from scratch. If you are spending hours in the kitchen each day, you are going to burn out faster than a stick of dynamite. Sure, if you're a chef or really enjoy cooking, this might not be so bad. But for the grand majority of people, this is a huge time and energy suck, and it doesn't need to be. Instead, utilize meal prepping techniques like I shared in my last video, and then I share countless recipes for in my membership, the Autoimmune Collective. Things like making one and freezing one, utilizing leftovers, dump and go freezer cooking, and building up a freezer stash. All of these things can literally save you hours each week, if not each and every day. The intent of this video is not to show you these techniques, as I have many videos and resources that do that, but I just want you to expand your view that cooking does not have to be done from scratch for every meal, because it most certainly does not. Mistake number 2 is trying to do all the things. A common mistake I see when people decide that they need to get healthier, they decide that they're going to completely change their diet, start exercising regularly, start daily 30-minute meditation practices when they've never meditated before, start journaling, and sleep 9 hours a night. Now, don't get me wrong, these are all awesome and very, very healthy, helpful things. However, unless you've been doing some of these on a regular basis prior to changing your diet, it's a lot. Probably too much for you to handle right now, and most likely not sustainable over the long run. Chances are, if you try to do all of these things at once, you'll stop doing all of them within a month or 2. The better way to go about this is to pick 1 or 2 things, really get them under control and a habit in your life that you barely really need to think about it, and then add more. Starting the AIP diet is a pretty huge undertaking due to all the rules, the new ways of cooking, and all of the changes that happen within your body. So really, that can be one all by itself for a few weeks, at least until you feel like you have your feet under you. Maybe pair it with trying to get a little bit more sleep if you chronically get less than 7 hours of sleep a night. But like trying to start a brand new exercise routine where your body is already going under so many changes and your mental capacity and willpower are already being strained may not be the best idea at first. Plus, autoimmune-induced exercise intolerance is so very common, where your body is already under so much stress from both actual stress, but also the stress of your illness, that you can flare simply from adding more exercise in than you can tolerate. It's hard to tell if your symptoms that you're feeling at first would be because of this or because of all of the changes from your diet. So simply waiting 2 to 3 weeks after starting AIP, if you don't already exercise regularly, will give your body a chance to heal and get rid of the inflammation. Then, if you want to try it, go ahead. Now, if you want to go for a walk or something in the first few weeks, that's fine. But just be mindful of your own tolerance levels, because as even walking can cause some people to flare. Mistake number 3, trying to rush the process. It most likely took you years to get where you are. Many times, autoimmune diseases silently attack tissue in the background for years before you even feel any symptoms. So to think that a mere 30 days is going to magically heal you is a bit of an unrealistic expectation. Sure, you can feel incredible improvements in about 30 days, but that doesn't mean that you can go back to your old life and ways of doing anything without suffering negative consequences and ramifications, and possibly complete reversal of any improvements that you've made. Instead, realize that the process of feeling better and that thriving with an autoimmune disease is a long-term process. I know you just want to live your life and you want to completely forget that you have any sort of disease that holds you back. I feel the same way, so I get you. However, you really need to come to terms with the fact that you have a lifelong chronic issue. And then if you just try to rush through healing and getting back to your normal life, it's not going to do you any good. You need to learn to live successfully with your disease and to make it a harmonious relationship. And this takes time. Otherwise, you're always going to have this disease popping up at the most likely inconvenient times, and it's going to get louder and louder. I'll be sharing about more tools that you can use to process through emotions like grief, resentment, and fear over the coming months. But know that if you feel you need these now, they're always available to you within the Autoimmune Collective. Mistake number 4, worrying about making mistakes. I shared this in a previous video, but the goal of AIP is not to do AIP perfectly. There are no medals or awards bestowed to you when you complete a certain number of days, nor are there any AIP police waiting in the background to arrest you if you eat some chocolate. Rather, the goal of AIP is to feel better. Yes, eating foods that are not AIP compliant can cause you to flare and can set you back. So it shouldn't be something that you flippantly do just because you're feeling uncomfortable and you know that drinking that glass of wine will make you feel happy. But if you do happen to consciously or unknowingly eat a food that's not AIP compliant, it's okay. Don't give up on your diet and health just because you ate something that's not on the list. Your health is way more important than 1 or 2 slip-ups. It's like if you have a brand new puppy that you're trying to potty train. If that puppy poops on your floor, would you say, screw it, and get rid of the puppy or stop trying to potty train it? No, but that's exactly what you do when you slip up and give up on your health. So don't worry. Chances are that you'll make some mistakes, and it's perfectly okay. The goal of telling you about these common mistakes people make is to let you know that it doesn't have to be so hard. Use meal prepping techniques to make the food part so much easier and to save you so much time. Stop trying to do all of the things at once and just incorporate healthy habits into your life as you're able to. Stop trying to rush the process and take your time. And stop worrying about whether you'll make a mistake or not, because chances are you will, and that's okay. If you keep your health goals and your why, like if you want to be able to have the energy to play with your kids or grandkids, or to be able to wear short sleeves without embarrassment, or whatever your why is, keep that in the forefront of your mind. You'll be unstoppable. And if you want to know some of my best tips for sticking to the AIP diet without a struggle, watch this video next. These will help take some of that pressure off. I'll see you next time.